All right, so good evening, everyone. This is Marcus again with another conversation about football. And today I have Michael Raymond with me, who happens to be a Richmond, sorry, Michael Richmond, who happens to be a sports consultant. And off the bat, I would firstly say thank you for spending a little bit of time with me to give me some insight into this. So I want to start with the questions one time, Michael. You could start anything any which way you want, but for me to understand, what really is a sports consultant?
Yeah, first and foremost, I appreciate you having me, Marcus. I'm privileged. My name is Michael Richmond. As many, they want to know I'm 25 years young, pretty much young.
Right,
So, first of all, I want to establish I'm a lover of football. You
right.
know, and that's I think that is key. So, very good question first and foremost. What is a sports consultant? Sorry for the light. Let me just run about it. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, actually, a sports consultant, is basically someone who, let's say, for example, a young player would come to and say, "Hey, I want to go pro.
Right,
I want to go pro, but I need you to map out, you know, a route for me to go pro." I would come in and I would offer them a route, a safe direction first and foremost.
right,
Safety is of utmost paramount, and I would offer them a route that assist them or aid them in reaching their long-term goal. Like for example, a young player would probably maybe let's say for example he's about 15 and he would come to me and say, Michael, I want to go pro. I want to become a professional footballer. First of all, you must have the quality, which is
yes,
the skill set on the football pitch. That's number one. Number two, you must have the discipline, which is of utmost importance. Important also. And number three, you must have that drive. And I would, well, I have a large amount of connections. Many may use for a better word. I don't want to say it's nepotism, but it's connections.
right, right,
So I would say, okay, kid, you're about what, 15 years old? I'm gonna talk to our school for you, and we're gonna get you a scholarship. That's first, because education is important. We're not gonna stray away from football, and try to eradicate or get rid or most ostracize education out of the equation. So I'm
right,
gonna say, all right, we're gonna start with a school, and then we're gonna go from there. So I would talk to somebody probably in Jamaica, or we'll talk to somebody now also in Trinidad with St. Benedict's and all these other schools. I would even
right,
talk to somebody in the USA because you have connection in the USA as well with
right,
colleges. I would say, all right, this kid is good enough. Here are some of his clips, and then we begin to map out myself and the player. If he wants to bring his family, that is totally fine. I would say,
right,
all right, we think that at this point of your career, we think it's better for you to play schoolboy football, and then you build yourself, and then we expose you to, let's say, you go to Jamaica, we expose you to the Jamaica Premier League immediately after. We get
right,
these clips, we get these minutes, and we get these exposure. All of these things they work hand in hand because what they do, they climatize you for when you branch out into the professional world. And
right,
then after that, we're gonna make that big call and say, hey, whosoever in Portugal, well, I have a young kid. There are Zoom Zoom girls here. Let's let's give him a shot. Are we gonna make a call to BVB in Germany? Are we gonna say, hey, I have this kid, Travis Byron. Let's give him a shot. And that is exactly how we map out these kids, road to professional football. I mean, in all fairness, not everybody is going to be successful. With trust me, it just cannot. That's not how it works. But
right,
at least
right,
10 to 15 years down the road, you're going to say, hey, you know what? I met this consultant that made it happen to me. Whether
right.
I made it or not, that's not his decision, not his fault. That's
Hmm.
on me as a
Yeah,
player. So yeah, I would, if that's a good, clear understanding of you know, what I do.
yeah,
I trust everybody understand. But again, I just want to establish I'm not an agent. I have no intention of becoming an agent. I do not want no part in that. I really don't want no part because an agent got a weird stigma with it. So I don't really want to be a part of the stigma, you know.
Right,
So
right, right, right.
yeah, so yeah, that's just my role.
Okay. So, I mean, you kind of mentioned it, and I really wanted to get into that part of it. Obviously, I'm from Trinidad,
Yeah,
and everyone right now is excited, and there's a buzz because Darrell Zoom Zoom is out there in Portugal.
yeah,
So someone put me onto you and said that you are the sports consultant who made that happen.
yeah,
Um, where do you have connections otherwise, and are you currently looking at other? I mean, you don't have to say names, but other
yeah.
players from Trinidad to get them that kind of connections.
Yeah, great, great. So actually, we have connections in, let's say, the top five leagues across the world. We have connections in England. We have
Right.
connections in France as well. We will continue to develop. Very soon, you're going to see another chain. I'm not going to jump that name, but either parent head over to France. We have
Yes.
connections in Portugal. We have connections in Germany, and also we're working. I don't want to say that that's finalized, but we have some friends over in Spain too as well. So we are
Okay.
working to get some connections. And the second part of the question, Trinidad. Let me just establish this first and foremost. Trinidad, working with Durrell is such a beautiful moment. It's a life changing moment for me
Right.
because the love that Durrell would usually show back to me, it
Mm.
it it made me develop this kind of camaraderie for Trinidad without even going there. I haven't even traveled to Trinidad, in my 25 years of living, but I hope to
Okay.
do so
Okay.
this year definitely. But
Yeah.
it makes me want to go to Trinidad. It makes me want to meet more Durrells. It makes me want to meet the Travis Byrons. It makes me want to meet all these other players. And the good thing about it is that I was lucky to see Durrell when he was here in Guyana last year, December, for the KFC Goodwill tournament.
Right.
And
Right.
my
Right.
my, my first words to him, I was like, "Yo, kid, you good, but y'all gonna lose the finals to the Guyanese team." And they went out to lose, really. I told him that. I told him that, and then I began, or most I began to monitor that kid. I
Yeah.
found his Instagram. I followed him right through. I paid
Right.
attention to the Trinidadian League because he was showing on Sports Max, or I think it was Flow Sport to be more precise.
Yeah.
And I kept a look out at the rail. So I mean, there are so much other kids from Trinidad that this opportunity is going to go to. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because I don't want to just pull them away from Trinidad, but I want to take scouts there.
Yeah.
I want to take
Okay.
my friends there because I have friends in some very, reputable professional clubs globally. I want to
Right.
say, hey, let's say September, October, I want us to jump on a plane. Let us go to Trinidad.
Right.
So we don't just want to establish a relationship with just the players, but we also want this to assist in coaching education as well.
Right.
Because the
Right.
more
Right.
educated coaches we got, it's better for the players because the players are gonna, be able to develop at a very rapid pace. Because I always got this saying, there is nowhere that a student could excel in school having bad teachers. I don't see it happening. So you
Right.
must
Right.
have good coaches if you want these kids to excel. And to me, that's one of the problems that we have in across the Caribbean region. We don't have enough exposed and qualified coaches that could properly develop our players. So
Right.
what Dorel has done, it's not just open a door for players, but it opened a door for more coaches,
Yes. Yeah.
like Coach Tia Coach Marvin Garden, and these guys to continue that
Yeah.
trend of educating themselves so that they could become a servant to the game and also these younger players could benefit. So we have top clubs that we're going to be working with to take not only Trinidad but also
Yeah.
across the Caribbean too as well.
Okay. 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 Fair. Um. So how do people reach out to you? Again,
Yeah.
I'm 15, 16, and I think and people telling me my quality of football is good and I should be looking to make it outside. How do I get in contact with you?
Great. So social media is the tool what we use. Actually, social media is the most powerful tool. So
Right.
my Instagram is pretty much my office, I would say. Michael Rich Official, that's the Instagram name. And you
Right.
guys could go there, reach out to me. I am always, you can send 1924/7.
Right.
We always keep an eye out for young players because in all fairness, Marcus, let me just trim it for a second. There are players that reach out to me all the way from Africa as well.
Okay. Okay. Nice.
Yeah, there are players who reach out to me from all the way from Africa, and then
Yeah.
we are beginning to map out routes for these kids to come from Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they are pretty much young. So we're gonna tell them, all right, hey, what you're gonna do? You're gonna come to the Caribbean. We're gonna get a proper school for you, let's say Jamaica, and
Yeah.
then you're gonna play the Money Cup. You're gonna play the Oliver Shea. You're gonna play the Champions Cup, and you're gonna expose yourself because every single year, scouts goes to Jamaica
Okay. Okay.
do showcase events. So you have scouts right there, and guess what? You're gonna play on national television. You're gonna
Yeah.
be seen, and then I could easily say, all right. So let's say, for example, Mr. Sancho, I have this young player here. He is 15 years old. He scored 30 goals in 14 games. This is his CV or his resume or his stats, whatever you want to call it. Let's
Right.
take a look at him. It's all about giving yourself, that avenue to grow and to continue to excel. So yeah, to answer the question, Michael Rich official on Instagram, also Facebook, Michael Rich one on Facebook. I would urge anybody just reach out if you think. I mean, I'm gonna have to evaluate you either way. So
Obviously.
the
Yeah.
good thing
Yeah.
about it, yeah, the good thing about it is that now I'll be able to come to Trinidad, and not only I'm gonna come, but I'm gonna bring my friends from across the Stop Club to Trinidad. So
Right.
we are going to evaluate you. Are you say you're good? All right, we give you the platform to show us that you're good.
Yeah.
You understand? And then we're gonna go from there. And then we also want to work with St. Benedict School. And there was this school I admired for years, Shiva Boys. I know
Yeah.
they were
Yeah.
pretty much a dominant school in Trinidad. So we want to work with with these schools. We want to establish a relationship
Right.
because
Right. Right.
sometimes there are some very much hidden talents that is just in farm one or farm two that just waiting to burst onto the scene. So we want to develop, a relationship where we could see these kids. Sometimes, they won't be able to play the school tournament in Trinidad because we see them at farm one. We gonna
Yeah.
pull them out immediately and separate them from the crowd. So it's stuff like that. It's stuff like that. But the social media is where we do all of our meeting. Just reach out if you think you're good enough. Just reach out. I
Okay.
could say
Okay.
politely, Travis, and I know I am at liberty to say his name, Travis Byron. He reached out, and we are working so far to get something for Travis. I know he played in Portugal some time ago, but we are working to get something for Travis. If not in Europe, the least we want to go at this point for Travis is the USL League. We don't want to go nowhere lower than that. So
Okay.
it's the
Okay. Okay.
USL MLS Europe or somewhere. But yeah, very talented guy. So we're working with
Yes.
Travis right now to see what we can get started for him.
So without calling names, um, would there be players that you would have done this for before these two that you just mentioned?
Yeah, a lot, a lot, a lot. Especially in Guyana, I've been doing this for the best part of 2 years. So we've seen, let me see, like about last year alone we had about 8 kids.
Oh,
Last year
okay.
alone we had about eight. Yeah, this year we started a bit slow because we only have well, we have two right now. Dorella, well, Dorella's one. We all know that, and there's another
Yeah.
kid that joined him yesterday, and then there's going to be another one is going to be going in August, and then we have some more that will be going to the back end of the year as well. So yeah, it's a lot of kids. It's not just those two. It's a lot, and we
Nice.
want a lot more. We want a lot more because you see these opportunities. It does a lot for the CONCACAF regional, the Caribbean regional, as many may know, because the more
Correct.
exposure these kids get, sometimes somebody can walk through the door. What they're gonna do, they're gonna open the door for other players behind them, and they're
Yeah.
gonna change the landscape for their families forever. And that's what we want. We want Caribbean kids to gain financial independence. You
Yes.
understand? We don't want these kids be playing for being paid for 1,000 50. And well, come on, don't worry, bro. That's a lot of money when we do the controversial in Guyana.
Conversion. Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, but in all fairness, we want these kids to be playing for 6, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000 US dollars or pounds a week. That's what
Yeah.
we want. Because what it does, it gives back to the Trinidad economy. It gives back to the Guyanese economy. It gives back to the Jamaican economy. You
Right.
understand? Because the more millionaires we get, and the more money is going to be pumped back into our system.
True.
To benefit the average kid. And then these kids are going to go back to their communities, benefit their communities, provide gears, provide kids, boots, balls, and these kind of stuff. So it basically is going to have a ripple effect. So
Yes. Yeah.
that's what we want for these kids. Nothing short of that. Again, that's why I didn't want to be an agent because people are going to say you just in it for the money. No, no, no. This thing has nothing to do with money. You
Right.
understand? Seeing a young boy from probably Bison, that's uh a very hostile environment in Guyana,
Right.
you know, or seeing a young boy from let's say Port Moore, Jamaica, or seeing a young boy from let me see, Bompton, you know,
Mm-hmm.
seeing these kids, come out of their communities and move on to brighter things, it's such a beautiful sight. That is feelings that money can't buy. You
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah.
So that's what we want. That's what we want to do. I mean, by all means, we don't do nothing without getting incentive. You know what I mean? In all fairness, we got to
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
establish that, but the main intention is to see these kids excel in life.
Yeah.
And
Right.
that's why I choose to be a consultant.
Well, that's good. That's good, Michael. That is that is really, really good because a lot of people I know don't know what is the next step.
Yeah,
And yeah, they're playing in the Premier League in Trinidad. And I'm really thankful for this opportunity to really talk to you to be able to put a name out there. And I will take your information and I will put it as a link in the YouTube page so that they know
yeah,
um where to get you. But definitely, obviously we as Trinidadians really, really excited that Darrell is out there. We looking forward for great things from him.
yeah,
And there are a couple other players, even on his team, as I said,
yeah,
that
yeah,
we think could definitely be outside. So this is a fantastic opportunity, and I really, really appreciate. I guess as a Trinidadian saying, just
yeah,
appreciate what you're doing for our people
yeah.
and for the Caribbean as a whole.
Yeah, and just before we go, let me just establish here and I'm put this out there. Guerrero's done good in his trials. You know what I mean? I got back some remarks yesterday, and
Okay.
the remarks, it was good. Yeah, right back into Trinidad tomorrow because it's the weekend. His trials is finished. So very soon, you guys could look forward to see the Guerrero signing somewhere. You know what I mean? It's not
Nice.
necessary. And the good thing about this trial is that it doesn't mean because he was at that club in Portugal, it means he's going to sign at that club because
Right.
we were pretty much out of scouts from bigger clubs that were
Oh,
there.
came to look there.
You understand? So Zorel tomorrow morning we could see Zorel playing for Porto or Benfica. I'm just throwing a team around, or you could see him playing exactly where he went. But that kid is phenomenal. I'm not gonna pretend about it. From
Yeah,
Guyanese to
yeah,
Trinidad,
yeah.
I think he is perhaps my God, I don't want to sound wrong, gosh, but I think he is up there. I tried to give some sort of justice, but I think he's up there as one of the best. But yeah, one of the best, if not the best U20 player in the Caribbean region, and this is just the truth because of
Right,
his skills. So
right, right.
Trinidad, you guys, I think you guys should be very optimistic and be looking out. This kid he is going to be phenomenal, and I think this season is going to be his last season in
Yeah,
Trinidad senior football. I'm not ruling it out because sometimes the process it takes sometimes longer than we take, but this kid, I think this is going to be his last season. He's excellent, and we look forward to seeing him playing in Europe very, very soon. If not possible, for the next season. Yeah, definitely for the next season, if possible. Sorry.
I mean, you as a consultant saying that, and you could just imagine how we as Trinidadians, when we hear that, how excited
Yeah,
we are to because we see him on a weekly basis
yeah,
and know that he shouldn't be in Trinidad. He definitely
right.
shouldn't be playing in Trinidad.
Right.
So again, Michael, thank you very much, and I'll take the information, I'll put it there. So anybody looking, reach out to Michael, send him your clips, and who knows where it could go, but we can make big things happen, and it's all
Yeah.
for the betterment of the Caribbean, as Michael said. So, Michael, thank you very much for your time, and this was very, very informative, and I definitely appreciate this.
Hey, Marcus, it's a privilege to have you. It's a privilege of me be actually being here, man. Thanks a lot for having me. Thanks for that, man.
All right, thanks, and enjoy your rest of your day.
Yeah, man. You too.
All right,
Bye, guys.
yeah, bye.